The Last Real Christmas Tree by Eugene O'Reilly, Christmas 2020 and New Year 2021. Freezing temperatures in San Francisco were an uncommon occurrence, and it almost never snowed. The weather beginning around Halloween 2025 yielded temperatures below freezing on an almost daily basis. Frost, freezing rain, and sleet, the kind of weather you find during autumn in upper New England, had been oddly occurring in San Francisco. Eddie and Daisy started walking at sunset on that Christmas Eve. The annual Christmas Eve dance at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church Auditorium began with an early evening dinner and Christmas Eve dance party, followed by midnight mass. Slim and Claudine began planning their Christmas Eve walk from the Tenderloin Hotel where they lived. At about the same time, Eddie and Daisy were exiting the church after midnight mass. Gene and Joan were simultaneously leaving the club near the Embarcadero, where they had been drinking and dancing all evening, to begin their frigid walk. The six of them were among the few people outside on the street that early morning, as the snow quickly became deeper and fell faster than anyone had expected. In fact, the storm had not been expected at all. They would later call it a freak of nature. In San Francisco that Christmas Eve, there was only one place to get a Christmas tree at the last minute. Open 24 hours, the Happy Elf Tree Emporium was the only place to get a real Christmas tree in San Francisco in the year 2025. The Happy Elf Tree Emporium was an old circus tent which Mr. Claus Santo set up on the plaza by the San Francisco City Hall. He lived in a cleverly concealed corner of the tent and sold real Christmas trees every year from Thanksgiving to the New Year. The eccentric old man performed an annual deed which nobody believed at first. Claus had won the California lottery in the year 2022. He decided that for the rest of his life he would grow Christmas trees and then sell them at a very expensively leased piece of property. During a time in his life when he was homeless, Claus used to spend a lot of time on the plaza by the San Francisco City Hall. He liked to wind in and out of the rows of trees there, pretending he was on a downhill skiing slalom course or tracing a giant DNA helix with his feet. After he won the lottery, he made a financially agreeable arrangement with the San Francisco city government. They granted him a lifelong pass to sell real Christmas trees from inside his old circus tent on the City Hall Plaza from every Thanksgiving to the New Year. He not only sold trees inside the tent, but he had a model railroad, a simulated fireplace, and every traditional kind of Christmas lights and ornaments for everyone who went there to enjoy. Claus was alone at 2 a.m. that Christmas morning, with only one tree left to sell. Eddie, Daisy, Slim, Claudine, Jean, and Joan were walking in the deepening snow toward the Happy Elf Tree Emporium. All three couples had the goal of buying a real Christmas tree to take home and decorate on Christmas Day. Claus sat in his rocking chair, drinking a cup of hot chocolate by the last of the unsold real Christmas trees. They were the kind of trees you could plant in your backyard once you finished using them for the holiday. People usually came between Christmas and the New Year to buy the leftovers for planting. As he sipped his hot chocolate, Claus decided he would return the last Christmas tree to his Christmas tree farm and let it remain there like a pardoned Thanksgiving turkey. He couldn't have been happier when it started snowing that Christmas Eve. He laughed out loud as the wind blew stronger and the snow fell heavier. The entrance to the tent resembled the door of a Victorian house, except that it was 4 times the size of a normal door. On either side of the door, large, transparent plastic panels allowed passers-by to look inside the warm and welcoming Happy Elf Tree Emporium. Claus gazed at the snow, which now covered the bottom third of the panels. Then the electricity stopped. The tent went dark. A certain glow from the fallen snow and the sky laden with snow to come helped Klaus to find some lanterns, and a few dozen boxes of candles he kept for just such an occasion. As he lit the last lantern, the three couples, walking from different directions, converged on the transparent plastic doors of the Happy Elf Tree Emporium. Laughing and shivering, each couple simultaneously said, "Merry Christmas," to the others. This made them all laugh even more. Slim and Claudine, being superstitious, told the others that it was a sign of good luck when people said the same thing at the same time without planning it. None of them was properly dressed for the weather. In order to get into the tent, they had to clear away snow that had drifted in front of the entrance. Flimsy gloves, inadequate shoes, and no long underwear motivated them to quickly clear away the accumulated snow and help Klaus open the door. When they were able to push the door open enough to enter, they all once again spoke in unison and said, "Thank you." Slim said, "This is going to be one lucky Christmas for everybody." Klaus began to laugh as he tried to say, "I think you're right. Welcome to the Happy Elf Tree Emporium, and a very merry Christmas to each of you." The more he laughed between words, the more the six people who just joined him also began to laugh. They laughed uncontrollably. They laughed until tears streamed down their faces. Before they knew it, they were warmed by the laughter, and simulated electric fireplace, which Klaus had connected to marine batteries for just such an occasion. Klaus asked them to gather around a little table, where cups and a thermos of hot chocolate awaited distribution. Slim said, "I ain't never seen snow before." Claudine pinched his half-frozen ear and said, "Me neither, darlin'." Eddie said he grew up with snow every year of his youth, being from New York City. His wife Daisy saw snow for the first time after she arrived in Washington, D.C. as an adult refugee from overseas strife. Jean and Joan were born and raised in San Francisco, but they knew all about snow from snowboarding every winter in Lake Tahoe. As they began drinking their hot chocolate, Klaus said, "I've got a dilemma, folks." Jean and Joan simultaneously said, "What's wrong?" Slim said, "More good luck for everybody." Klaus contagiously laughed once again, until he finally said, "I guess you folks have come to buy a real Christmas tree. I believe in first come, first served. There's only one real Christmas tree left. Just before you folks arrived, I decided to put this little tree back in the ground at the Christmas tree farm and officially pardon it the same way the president pardons a turkey on Thanksgiving." The six strangers simultaneously frowned and said, "You gotta be kidding," as Klaus spoke. Slim said, "That means even more good luck, maybe for everybody for all of 2026. Laughter flowed out of the seven of them for so long, none of them could figure out exactly how much time had passed before Klaus said, "What do you think I should do, folks?" The six of them spoke in unison and said, "Let's at least decorate it." Then all seven of them became silent. The abrupt silence increased the sound of the wind and reminded them of the storm outside. They simultaneously looked out and saw that the snow was halfway up the height of the transparent panels. More than 3 feet had fallen since the storm began. They saw mounting snowdrifts everywhere the wind formed them. Breaking the silence, Klaus said, "I think you're right. Let's decorate it. And I know it's a line from an old song, but since we no place to go, let it snow." The six of them simultaneously sang the next line, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow." Klaus shouted, "Keep singing! The weather outside is frightful. All of them continued singing as Klaus brought out boxes of Christmas tree decorations from the early 20th century, a bucket of popcorn with sewing needles and spools of thread to string it, and even boxes of old-time tinsel. Everyone got busy. When one Christmas song ended, Klaus prompted them to begin singing another. They all knew all of the words. The electricity was off in the entire Bay Area. Electricity wasn't needed that early Christmas morning at the Happy Elf Tree Emporium. Strings of popcorn and traditional ornaments were hung, and a traditional wooden manger with the complete cast of plaster characters was gently placed under the tree. When the singing stopped, there was no question in anyone's mind really got the last real Christmas tree. The end. Merry Christmas to all.